Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So we're going to talk a lot today. I'm going to give you guys a pretty big, impactful update on the free-to-play challenge account. Before we get into that, I want to talk about the biggest danger in Raid Shadow Legends. It's not Fire Knight, it's not Iron Twins, it's not Demon Lord Clan Boss, Hydra, Chimera. I believe that the biggest challenge in Raid Shadow Legends is burnout, right? We made a video a couple weeks back saying, hey, I'm going to tone down the content in the challenge. I'm not necessarily having as much fun. It's getting a little grindy, all these things. The reality was I was burnt out. I manage 3 accounts. I have my main account, I have the free-to-play challenge account, and then I have my OG free-to-play, which, if you guys haven't been following my channel for a while, my main free-to-play account, as I call it now, that's actually like one of the cornerstones in my clan. The only thing that it's weak on is Chimera and Kydra, because I don't have Chimera and Kydra. Leave that in. That's funny. No, the only thing I'm weak against is Hydra and Chimera, because I don't have like a really top tier support. I'm basically still using a Godseeker and Neri to get me through those fights. You know, and I've talked about that when I talk about that account. But 3 accounts. And I was playing, at the beginning of this challenge, I was playing all of them at an optimal level, right? I was doing Doom Tower every day. I was doing my Iron Twins every day, Cintranos levels every day. Like, I was doing all of those things for like the first couple weeks. And then I started dialing it back, right? So on my 2 main accounts, as I call them, because they're both in my clan and they're very active. Speaking of which, we are recruiting, by the way, guys. But yeah, hop in my Discord. That's my YouTube Discord, but my recruiter for the clan is in that Discord. Just say, hey, I'm looking for a clan, and we'll talk to you, okay? Stop right there. Click the link in the description right now to get a free legendary Elenaril and 3 free amazing epics as you level up. Here are the exact steps that you need to follow. Step 1, log out of Plarium and Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Here we go. You'll find Elenaril here, as well as Uugo at level 10, Tagoar at level 20, and Rector Drath at 30. Don't forget to use the promo code Supreme6 to get yourself the awesome Supreme Galek. And if you play for 7 days, you'll get a 3rd legendary Alice. This is an amazing account start in Raid. So click on my link right now and follow the steps. Outside of that, I dialed back. I stopped doing Doom Tower on those accounts. I stopped doing Cintranos on those accounts. I stopped doing Iron Twins, you know, all the stuff that takes extra time, longer stuff, right? I was just doing 2 things for the longest time. I was logging in and doing Clan Boss. I was doing Clan Bosses. I did all my Clan Bosses as required. So Demon Lord, Hydra, Chimera, all of them. And I was doing my dailies. Then I stopped doing my dailies. And I was just logging in to collect my Clan Boss rewards, and then once a week doing Hydra and Chimera. And that's the state right now of my main accounts. And that's embarrassing for me because I'm the clan leader and I'm not setting a good example, which is actually very important for me. I preach that a lot, being an example for the clan. So I almost said challenge over. I am not saying that, but I almost did. I'm getting a little off topic here, so I want to kind of bring it back in. I'm doing a lot better because I basically hard stopped on all 3 accounts, right? I realized that I had some issues. I took a look at those issues. I said, all right, you know what? I need to take a step back. I cannot be stressing out over any of these accounts right now. And over this weekend, I took a step back. I did. I got so burnt out, it was even a struggle for me to make content. The video, by the way, check out my video on Phantom Shogun Grove. I think I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite teams in the game, and I think it's going to help each and every one of you, even if you're late game, early game, mid game, whatever. I think it's an absolute awesome team, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for help in Phantom Shogun Grove. But that video I recorded like weeks ago, and I you know, contacted my editor and was like, hey, I need you to put that video out because I can't record anything today. That's how burnt out I was. I couldn't even make content. At the end of the day, this is a video game. It's okay to take a step back. And I got to tell you, taking a step back was the best thing I ever could have done for me because I am reinvigorated. I am so excited to play all 3 accounts, in fact, right? Because I have Elenaril on my main account. He just got buffed. I'm excited to play him, right? The free-to-play account is about to do a fusion, right? I'm excited about that. So is the main account, of course. But on the challenge account, I am so excited because I finally lit the fire under my butt, and now we get to talk about the fun part. Check this out. Stage 20, Fire Night, completed. I wish I did this 2 days earlier, so I could have got the points for it. On the leaderboards, let me just check very quickly. I still wouldn't be in the top 10. However, I haven't even tried to push stage 21 or 22 yet. I'll show you the team here. Probably what you would expect to see from an early game Fire Night team. You've got Armiger, Coldheart, an ally attacker here in Morag, my best wave clear, and my best support. That's all it comes down to. Would I love to put Calvalax in there? Sure. I feel safer with Tagoar. I don't know that I need Tagoar, to be completely honest with you, but it makes me feel safer. And Tagoar is built really well, right? We do have him in Guardian, so my team takes a few hits in the waves. That's really nice to have Tagoar to kind of reduce that damage. And of course, he brings the healing and the turn meter, or not turn meter, but and the increased speed. He's been a big asset, and I'm happy to bring him along. A little bit of extra HP doesn't hurt, right? But what I did is I finally built the Coldheart, right? I don't know if I've shown this on camera yet. I've got her at 200 speed, 70% crit rate, 212% crit damage. This is one of the great things about Coldheart. 212 crit damage is not a lot to a lot of people, but she has almost as much crit damage as my Alice. And the reason I'm able to achieve that is because I can rock crit damage gloves because she only needs 70% crit rate for her most important ability right here, which is Heartseeker, right? Because you get an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. So I can put crit damage gloves, which eventually is the goal for all of your champions that are nukers. You want crit damage gloves and get the crit rates elsewhere throughout the kit. But that's harder to do in the early game. You're talking about very niche pieces that need really good rolls to be able to achieve that. Luckily, I'm able to get away with, like, look at, like, just to put it in perspective for you guys how hard that can sometimes be. I have crit rate on every single piece that my Coldheart is wearing, and I've only managed to get 70%. And that includes having crit rate also on the gloves. So you do need some really good rolls to be able to achieve that in later game builds. Luckily, in my case here, I'm able to do it, and I'm happy about that. Or I'm able to get that 70%. But try, you know, if you're looking for that other 30% for most of your other champions, that can be hard to come by. And this isn't like bad gear. Like, this is pretty interesting gear. I mean, this is probably I would argue this is probably a perfect piece for a Coldheart. You know, speed, accuracy, crit rate, and crit damage. You know, sometimes what you'll tend to do is maybe sacrifice a piece. Like, maybe you have a helmet that just has like crit rate triple roll or something, you know, but maybe you're giving up some speed or accuracy or attack or whatever it is, right? But it gets you that extra percentage that you need to get 100%. So the accuracy is a little bit low. I'm actually just now seeing that because I wanted to talk about the raid stages tool, and the reason I want to talk about that is my Armiger. Armiger is one of the main reasons that I'm having as much success in Fire Night as I am, because he decreases the turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical. 30% turn meter reduction is big, and it's on an A1, and it's not 75% chance or 50% chance. It will always happen if the attack is critical. How do we make that happen? Well, crit rate gloves, right? We got our crit rate. We are 100% crit rate. We actually have a little bit of crit damage, 109% crit damage. 179 speed, a little slow, but remember, this is an uncommon champion. Only 92 base speed makes it a little bit harder to get the speed that you're looking for compared to some other champions. I mean, even Coldheart's at 94, and I only have him at 5 stars. It's a little harder to get him where you want him with the gear limitations I have on a 2-month-old account, but we did do it. So yeah, it's a pretty simple team. Basically, Armiger keeps that turn meter kind of low, and then Coldheart comes in with the big decreases the target turn meter by 100%. So that just, and it basically Fire Knight never gets a turn. Now, it does work on stage 20, but I had a big problem. I had to rebuild my Armiger. His accuracy was too low. And I want to talk about Raid Stages tool. So this is a tool on Hell Hades' website, hellhades.com. But if you go in there, you can pick a dungeon. Let me drag this over here. So you can basically say, okay, I want to look at a dungeon. I want to look at Fire Knight's Castle on normal difficulty and stage 20. They explain what the orange means. The numbers in orange for resistance and accuracy represents the recommend value to negate the opposite effect. Ensure your debuffs land. You should have your accuracy as the number on the resistance row that is in orange. So we come down here, resistance 200. I need 225 accuracy to get past that. I built my Armiger, and I rebuilt my Armiger and got his accuracy to 258. I did that by putting on 1 piece of perception, 1 piece of accuracy. By the way, these boots are awesome. Speed boots with accuracy sub roll. I was super excited about it. So even though he's 50, I'm able to get that accuracy plus extra accuracy in the masteries too. I was actually able to complete it even with the low accuracy. So Armiger basically was there for no purpose. He just was a body, and he never landed his decreased turn meter the first time I did it. I was just able to do it because of Coldheart. The other thing that Coldheart brings that we don't mention, or that I haven't mentioned yet, is a 4 times hitter, but also heal reduction. So one of the biggest issues that I tend to have with not so much controlling the turn meter, but more so a situation where you're doing a bunch of damage, like you can break through the shield. You're way faster than the Fire Knight early on, like in the lower levels. Like I was way faster. I would break through the shield, do a bunch of damage, and he would heal up for some of that damage. And it's fine. It would be a slow fight, you would think, but the reality is that because he destroys my max HP, eventually it gets to the point where I kept getting one shot, right? So the turn meter manipulation, even if it's not going off every single turn, it does reduce the number of turns that the Fire Knight gets. But the reality is, the form of this team should actually just never let him take a turn. Takes a little bit to get through the waves for me, so I'll see you after we get through the waves here. All right, so we made it through the waves, and we are now on Fire Knight. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit auto here, and you're gonna kind of see how the team works. So our A1s, I do have everyone set up to kind of do A1s here, and then we ally attack. There's that turn meter reduction. You saw that, boom, there again with Armiger, right? And then Coldheart takes it all the way down while also being the real damage dealer, because she's going to do far more damage than Alice against a boss, especially since Alice is in a PvP build and does not have War Master. In fact, I think, no, yeah, everyone has War Master except for Armiger here. I do turn off Armiger's A2, which is an enemy max HP hit, which would do a lot of damage, but I really want to just manipulate the turn meter. That's all I'm looking to do. If you think about it this way, while that enemy max HP damage is super useful, if I was bringing a Lure, which is just a better Armiger, you wouldn't have that enemy max HP hit, but you would still bring her guaranteed every time over an Armiger, right? So I'm okay not using it because that's not what I'm bringing him for. And you will notice that the turn meter does start to get pretty high. We are decreasing it a little bit with Alice as well since they fixed her bug. But this is where Coldheart kind of comes in really handy because it starts to get kind of high. And I don't know if she's going to get a turn before... Okay, good. And there, now it's back down, right? So it's like a constant battle, right? Like the turn meter is going up, 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 down, little down, little down, little down. And then it gets to a point where it's all the way at the end and Coldheart says, and takes it all the way down. And so we did get a resist there. That's gonna be a 3% resist. Like inherently the bosses have a 3% chance to just outright resist stuff. Does get a turn. I'm not thrilled about that, but I don't think it's gonna be a very big deal. We should bounce back very quickly from it. Armiger, perfect. He's in the ally attack. There we go. Decreased turn meter. There it is again. So now, technically speaking, Coldheart's accuracy is a little low for this fight too. So it is possible that she may fail on taking down the turn meter. She's right at the cusp, and I think some of the masteries probably take her over to the 225. But to be completely honest with you, it's not a super big deal. She's kind of there as the damage dealer, and you know, if we take one, we can afford to take a hit or two and be just fine. And there you have it. That's stage 20. It is a long run, mostly because of the waves, to be completely honest with you. And as good as my Alice is, of course, stage 20 is negative affinity, right? It's force affinity. Why is everything gotta be the hardest affinity? So it is what it is. We were able to pull it off. Normally, I would always recommend farming stage 20 in the early game for tournaments and such. However, if I can get stage 21 to finish in a far faster time, because Alice will be a positive affinity there and Armiger would be a neutral affinity there, or the same affinity, I would actually farm there. Because yes, you're spending more in energy over time, which is not good, but a faster run is a faster run, and I would lean towards that personally. When I look at the rankings, so the highest Fire Knight is stage 25. No one's tried hard, not a surprise. You need freeze champions for that. I doubt very heavily that any of us have the right type of freeze champions for that fight. I don't think I could get to stage 25, but I do think I could go a stage or two higher. If I could get stage 21 or 22, that puts me back into the top 10 for Fire Knight, which would be very good for me, of course. Now, Spider, I have not yet tried. I will need to get stage 20 Spider, and that will probably be tomorrow's video, as I'm going to make a push in there and see if this same team can do what I need it to do in that fight. So I'm gonna go get to work on Spider, but I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching, and if you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It is a big help to me. I am making a push for 5,000 subscribers, and if you would be so kind as to click that button, it is a huge help for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.